Steve. Thank you for joining. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to start at the top. We'll start with anybody. Just raise your hand. I own a technology company in network and action, I always say, but I'm not very good at doing anything other than sending emails. So I'm the last person you want necessarily to be adding an expertise here. Now, I tell my wife all the time, don't be jealous, but I have a new girlfriend. It's called ChatGPT, and I probably spend more time with Chat than I do my wife. But that does not make me an expert in AI, obviously. So what I want to do is I have a couple of people who are experts or have specialties in AI, and we're going to hear from them a little later. But I just wanted to hear from anyone that wanted to contribute about some AI tool they utilize in their business, how much time it's saving them, and what the name of it is, that kind of thing. So anybody that wants to start, jump right in, please. And again, welcome. Everyone's ideas are welcome here.
I'll
Who
jump
wants
in.
to?
I'll
Lenny,
jump
go
in if
ahead.
you don't mind. My name's Alex. Sorry, Pixel Pro. Sorry, did I jump in there? I don't know.
Oh, you go ahead, Alex. It's fine.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
You're good.
Um, my name's Alex. I'm with the Pixel Pro AI Marketing, Pixel Pro Design Co. So we're a web and graphic design company. I've been doing graphic design for about 10 years now, different various businesses. But one thing that I was extremely excited when it came out was Claude Cowork, that in combination with like OpenClaw, but really honestly, Claude Cowork by itself, because within the last 2 months of using it, not only have I started a whole new business because of it, but I've literally automated the entire SEO process that I had for a client that actually took an employee per so many people to not needing any employees. And Claude literally automated out a couple employees out my business, contractual employees, of course, but nonetheless, it's like a game changer. And it feels like we're at this crazy intersection between like where technology and AI is actually useful and doing things, from where it was, when it started 3 years ago with chat, which was it's great at giving you information, also misinformation, and it still can't do anything for us. Now we're in the stage of like, oh my goodness, it is now acting and doing on our behalf. So yeah, Claude Cowork for me was a game changer.
Would you put that in the chat for me, if you don't mind, Alex?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
before we move off of Alex, does anybody have any questions like that are pertinent to that they want to ask? Maybe feel free. All right, Alex, thank you for that contribution. Who was next? I saw somebody's hand go up or start to talk. If you want to just raise your hand or jump in, what?
That was Lenny.
Yep. Hi there,
Lenny, go ahead.
Alex. I just want to say that you are totally. We're in the same. We're in the same choir, singing from the same book. I'm an AI software developer. I do all kinds of really large scale and small scale platforms, applications, solutions, and everyone else that's on the call here that's listening. I would say listen to Alex because Claude Cowork and other similar tools that are now becoming have become extremely functional, really can automate a lot of your day-to-day process, even automate your operations, whether it's marketing, sales, and so forth. So I built a completely unified operations control panel for my businesses. I have about three different businesses that I operate, and because I'm a full stack developer, I'm able to build literally custom from scratch what I need to automate my business, from sales to customer service to marketing, social media, content creation, and publishing as much as possible. So, yeah, I would echo everything Alex said there, and everyone should be looking at Claude Cowork and other tools as well to help automate your day to day.
Is that a paid platform, Lenny?
Claude, I believe there's a free tier, but you probably are going to end up paying a little bit in tokens, a little bit of cost. But in my case, and from a lot of my clients, I am no longer using Slack. I'm no longer using Monday. I'm no longer using Salesforce. I'm no longer using even QuickBooks, frankly, or much accounting software. I'm building my own tools the way I want them to operate, fully integrated with other things so that it's kind of like one central dashboard for all of my business operations. That's kind of what I specialize in automation, but also just kind of coordinating all the different aspects of one's business and putting it all together into one central unified operating dashboard or console.
And this is a service you offer other businesses, I assume.
Oh yeah, yeah. I build completely full platforms. I have several patent pending applications and software products that I've launched myself. So I do practice what I preach. I build for clients up and down the lines, large scale, small scale. I just had a meeting this morning with a $1 billion company that only has two people that do AI in their company, and they have clients coming to them. They're a recruitment firm, but they're the largest independent privately held recruiting company in the country, and they have so many customers, large scale customers that are coming to them and saying, "We want to build this whole thing," but there just are not enough of people like me yet that are actually kind of AI shepherds and have the technical skills and the understanding of the strategic governance components. Because the thing with AI is it's kind of you have to really put guardrails in. You can't just let everybody in your organization just willy-nilly use AI for whatever they want. You're going to end up with every little decision. Everybody's going to be writing a 100-page brief and opinions on every little decision that you make. And so it's really about the first thing is governance, making sure that people in your organization are using the right AI in the right ways and not, going haywire. So that's one of the first things I do is I come in and do the governance and strategic adoption consulting to help organizations even figure out how do we get from here to there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Awesome. Daniela, go ahead.
Yeah, I got one. A bit more of a fun and goofy one, but if you aren't hip to Kling AI, you should definitely check that out for animating some videos or some photos. I recently uh, had a little fun with my daughter. She wanted to set
Why
a
don't you, do
trap.
you have the ability to show that, Dan?
Actually, yeah, I could show. So basically, let me see where I got that. It was St. Patrick's Day, and my daughter came home from school, and she was like, "I want to trap the leprechaun," and I'm like, "Well, we're gonna make that happen for you." So we put together a little cage deal. Um, I'll try to get that. I can't really multitask right now, but we put together the little trap, and I took a picture of it, and I uploaded the picture into ChatGPT, and I was like, "All right, let's kind of clean up the environment," and then I took that photo. I took it to Kling and I gave it a prompt that said, okay, I would like a leprechaun to teleport inside of the trap, inspect the little gold bucket that she had in there, and say, this is fool's gold. You're not tricking me. And then teleport out of there. And
So I
it
want
just,
you to look for it and show it because it's
yeah,
so cute. And look for it while Mary Sue's talking, and we'll come back to you after
you
Mary
got
Sue.
it.
Go ahead, Mary Sue.
Um, Thank you. So I use high level, and although I use some of the same tools you guys have already mentioned, I have really enjoyed getting into like voice AI and chat bots. And I have a virtual AI receptionist for my business, which I've loved. But I also made, and I'm putting this in the chat, for Christmas, I made a Santa chat bot for my family to play and help Santa find his keys. So if you wanted to, which I enjoyed making the responses seem like Santa. It was a lot of fun and actually pretty easy to do. So it's amazing the capabilities of the tools today versus Mr. Clippy in the 80s, if you guys remember him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
Mr. Clip.
we're dating ourselves. We do remember that. Daniela, did you put your fingers on?
I'm getting them zeroing in on it
Okay, we'll
right
go to
now.
Sal and we'll come back to you. Go ahead,
All
Sal.
right.
Good to see you. Thank you, Mary Sue.
Hey everybody, I'm Sal Corvai. I own Network in Action Power Team Carolinas in York County, South Carolina. I'm using several different AI tools. I just started using Claude. I've been trying to write a book for about 2 years now, and over the last couple weeks, actually started and just about finished it on my trip to New Mexico last week by using that. But I started out with it, basing it on some of the stuff I did on ChatGPT, then ran it through Gemini, and then went through and have been using Claude to really work on that and tighten up the wording and stuff. And then you can see behind me the referral readiness diagnostic. I created an agent that actually answers 5 simple questions for people and tells them how referral ready their business is. Um, Kind of when somebody walks in, gives their elevator pitch, that's basically what it rates. And I'm letting all my members use it, and I'm getting great reviews from it. They think it's absolutely amazing.
Can you share that in the chat there, Sal?
I will. I'll actually
Awesome.
go out and I'll find the link and I'll share the link with everybody so they can come onto it.
And this would help them determine how referable they are as a member or as a existing business.
It's their existing business and it'll tell them where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are. And I've designed it to tell them how network in action can benefit them. So I'm using it as a recruitment tool as well.
Very cool. Very creative.
Can I just
Awesome.
add one more quick thing, Scott, if I may?
Please, Lynn.
I just posted to the chat a really amazingly cool little tool that I built called Dictionary of AI. I just posted it to the group chat, and it's dictionaryofai.com. It's still under development, but I did launch it. It's probably the coolest like AI glossary that's out there, and it's 3D. You can manipulate all the different terms, and you can see how all the different terms kind of interrelate. So if anybody wants to go really deep into the more of the science behind it, machine learning, all the different terms and stuff, y'all can check that out. It's a pretty cool little free tool, and I just posted that.
Thank you.
And I
Dan,
found,
you ready?
yeah, I found my little deal here. So this was made with Kling AI. And, I just took this photo of our little trap that we made. And I
Mhm.
gave it some prompts. I gave it a
Mhm.
before picture, after picture, and an in the middle picture. And then you're able to do a little something like this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Fool's gold! You can't trick me with your antics!
Yeah, silly stuff. But I mean, on a more serious note, like I've also restored, old photos for people and animated them. And, there's so many cool things that you could do with AI. And, with the Kling in particular, good on the video animation side. So photo restorations, upscaling, that sort of stuff. Very cool stuff.
Is that also the software you or the AI you use when you animate a still picture?
Yes. Yeah. Kling AI. And you would prompt it. So, I did some work for you, maybe a year ago and took some of your old family photos, brought them to life. It was
Yeah, we
beautiful.
had we
It
had
was it was
quite a
such a
time with
fulfilling
that.
project.
It was a video that he made for my mother's funeral, and they were when he sent it to me, I was like, "Wow, what's going on here?" Because he would take a still picture of my mom, like in 1952, and it would be coming to life. She'd be sort of moving and in motion. It was really, really cool, really well done. So, sort of like the sky's the limit with your imagination. Who else wants to contribute? We got Valmer Bushin, who is also in the expert area of AI. Mr. Bushin, weigh in here on a few customer service stories, maybe how you've helped some of your customers and what you've seen in terms of increasing efficiency.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for inviting me here. It's my first time here, and I appreciate all of you from NIA. It's a great organization. I'm a very recent member here, and the what I'm seeing in the group is a lot of engaging businesses, a lot of engaging people who are really good at what they do. And unfortunately, uh, there is still a lot of problems to solve. And the problem that we have is not like how to get better at what we do, but more of the disruption that AI is causing. And we are all excited about different tools, but they come in million quantities. And some people, give you the dictionaries of choosing that tool. Some of them showing them how they use particular tool. But we need to think about the big picture here, and we need to think about how our life will be here in 12 months. And what I help the businesses is to kind of form their vision about how, let's say, how NIA will look like in 12 months. What does it mean that AI will be a leverage and a help for NIA? How much of analytics and the good decisions can we bring in order to activate what we can do together? So AI is not a tool anymore as of December, when Claude and OpenAI released the 5.4. It is a PhD level engine, but this is a layer. On top of it, in January, the OpenClaw was created, and now we're talking about the digital workers, and now we're talking about the hybrid infrastructure of people and AI work together in a virtual environment. So the world is changing so fast. So we all need to have that AI strategy. And it's not a matter of what tool you use, it's a matter of how you transform your organization so you work in a different way, because now we are all getting disrupted. It's a tsunami that comes to us, and we need to be on top of it, not below it. I'm the person who can help you to think through your business and change how you think about it, and build the necessary things and necessary ecosystem in place. Rethink your process and policies. So that's kind of my introduction, Scott. I will yield time for at this time.
Yeah, I'd like you to share one favorite experience that customers had, the amount of time they saved. Did they save employee hours? Were they able to lay people off and have more efficiencies? If you have a story, I'd love to hear it.
Well, I use AI for my own business, and what I do, I can tell you the story right away. Before I went to a meeting today, I recall that I do not have a specific profile for the person I meet, and I send a message to my virtual assistant. I call him Vladdy because it's kind of clone of me, and I said, "Could you generate a founder AI profile that I can take with me, and it generate a double page like this of how this person can use AI and different tools like a dictionary, and how you can apply it in that person's particular, that person was a photographer. How can you apply it in the photography business, and why do you need to do that? What are your incentives?" And when I came there, I presented and said, "I have something for you." And she was sincerely amazed by that.
She thought you had done hours of research. Yeah.
And it does look like, because I'm curating that. I'm not blind about it. I read it through and say, it makes total sense. And I'm comfortable giving it to someone, and I'm comfortable talking about how to build it. So I can help with this. The other example is I'm getting late, and I'm 5 minutes late. I press a button and say, "Vladdy, could you send an email to Brit and say I will be 5 minutes late?" 3 seconds later, the message say, "Send, no worries, drive safe." And I come to message to Brit and say, "Brit, did you get the message?" And she said, "Yes, I did." So I appreciate that.
Wow.
So
Very
digital employees, it's your ecosystem. You do not have to hire anyone. I mean, everyone right now. You can think about building the muscle of your company using AI.
Very nice. Very nice. Anyone else want to add?
Hey, Scott, it's Justin Newell. How are you?
Hey, Justin, jump in. Good to hear you. Thank you for
Yeah, I
being
mean,
here.
I'm in AI every day, all day. Most of what I do is marketing, copywriting, and marketing strategy for folks. My preferred is ChatGPT because I like to build custom GPTs. One of the things I do is actually build custom GPTs for my clients that serves as basically their marketing assistant, strategic advisor, and content curator. So those who don't want to pay me, it's a way of having me in an AI format, if you will, that knows their company inside and out, knows them personally inside and out, and then can produce the right content for them. So that's one of the things I do. So I'm doing that. Whether I'm using brand, I call it a brand brain. So I'm either using the brand brain that I built for my client to build stuff for them, whether it's content, website development, email, newsletters, the whole 9 yards, or I give them access to do it themselves. Another example that's kind of cool. I was just on a call earlier doing a one-to-one with somebody from NIA, a new member, and he's in insurance, and we were chatting about just niching because he's a fitness background like I do. So we were talking about targeting fitness business owners. I used to own a gym for 16 years, and I was like, I'd be a perfect client for you had I still own a gym. And we were talking about niching, and I showed him how to basically just have ChatGPT go scour the internet and find all the independent owner operator gyms in the state of Minnesota. So no franchises, no big box gyms, eliminate all those. and pull back all the contact information that you possibly need to go and reach out to these folks. And the example I use said if I was going to try to build marketing for these folks, just simply had the AI agent not only find me all the gyms in Minnesota with the contact information, emails, website, phone numbers, but then also rank their current marketing and what my opportunity is to help them. And, while we're on the phone chatting about other things, AI is working in the background, spits out a report by the time we're done. Shortly, it actually came out shortly after our call was over, but that's one of the really cool things you can do is just have agents go out and do a lot of research for you and help you with your building things out.
Love it. A
little more basic.
Did I see Scott Marker's hand up?
Yeah, I wanted to be like the least technical guy to talk. But I always, anytime, and I'll give you a couple of specific examples, but anytime I go, oh, brother, right before this call, I went, I really should have posted on Facebook and LinkedIn a post about my meetings coming up next week and the following week. And so I always ask myself, what can an LLM help me do it easier? And most of the time, so what I did was I took my email I sent out this morning and said, hey, change this email to a post and create an image with it. And here's some branding stuff. Look at the image, right? And I could have, and then also that it did all that, and then I said, oh, you forgot the text. And now I want text above it. So it's that type of stuff that I just ask myself all the time, like, how can it help me more? And here's another workflow I do. I've written 2 books. I'm a terrible writer. I'm horrible writer. Grammatics, can't spell. I had so many people have to proofread my book to get it to where it was readable. I don't need any editors anymore because my workflow is I like to write most stuff myself, sometimes with voice. So I get it's me, and then I say, the next thing I do, then I dump that into ChatGPT and I say, proofread it for me. And then this is the thing that Claude, last I checked, doesn't do it. That's why I stopped using Claude. But Gemini does it, and so does ChatGPT. You click on the little dots and say, read it aloud. You catch so many mistakes or things that you don't sound when it reads it back to you. So there's some just tools that just save me so much time. I can't even, and I'm a low tech guy, but I use it I don't know how I do my work. I would have to spend hours and hours.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. Raise your hand if you're in an industry that you feel like you need to spend time educating people. So as an example, I'll use myself. I feel like that everything we've been told about networking for the last 40 years is not very accurate. So I need to spend a lot of time writing. And if you're in that boat, I was introduced to a AI tool I just put in the chat called Pressmaster AI. Let me tell you about Pressmaster AI real quick. If you need to write frequently, it's an incredible tool. I think it's about $79 a month. You can write unlimited articles. And so what you do is you go to Pressmaster AI and you spend about 30 minutes, letting it get to know your personality, your tone, how you like to write. And so you're just answering a bunch of questions, and that stays in the learning module. And then you're able to go and you can just click on a little microphone and say, I want to write a topic today about why you don't have to go to a weekly networking meeting to make it effective. And you have 3 choices. You can either have it just write a short article by itself. It'll do that, but it doesn't come out like ChatGPT. It comes out so much more well-written in your tone, and you really cannot tell it was written by AI. It will also search the world for articles about what you're talking about. It'll quote other people. It'll bring those into the article. If you don't want it to write it yourself, you have another option. You can let it interview you, and they will just start asking you questions, and you're just answering the questions. And all of a sudden, within a couple of minutes, you've got this big, long, beautiful article. And so there's various ways you can do it. I love Pressmaster AI. Then you can link it to your LinkedIn. You can link it to other social media sites. You can either go over to create a PR, a press release. And for about $300, you can send out to 450, 480 something agencies like, Yahoo Finance and the Wall Street Journal. And so I love Pressmaster AI. If you're in an industry that you feel like you need to write a lot to educate people, I really encourage you to take a look at Pressmaster AI, a really cool tool. I really enjoyed it. It allows me, I have a goal of creating at least one article a week, and I've been able to do that. You're only limited by your own imagination in terms of what you can write about. Who else has something like to add? I'd like to bring in, where is my man, Mick? Mick is a good friend of mine and a member of Network in Action in Houston, Texas. And Mick's doing some amazing things with AI. Mick, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Hey, Scott. Thank you for the introduction. About me, I've been running Bridgetal for 2.5 years. I started right when ChatGPT 3 just came out, and I had a few skills in my portfolio, which were automation through no-code tools like Zapier and Make. And I saw potential of ChatGPT, and that's kind of how my journey began. And throughout this 2.5 years, I realized many, many things when it comes to automation and simplifying work for small, medium-sized businesses. And I would say I probably have a contrarian approach when it comes to automation of the business, just because I've seen so many software projects fail. I've seen so many people struggle with change management, and I'm primarily in construction home service industry. And my approach is that you most likely don't need another tool. People tend to over advertise another cool shiny object like OpenClaw or some new tool that's going to solve all your problems in the world or this and that. But what I've noticed from working on a variety of projects throughout these 2 years is that lots of the times the best automations and the best systems are the ones that are ambient, the ones that you don't see, the ones that when you wake up, they get things done for you. And then you don't have to necessarily type much. You don't have to necessarily press any buttons. Things just work on autopilot for you, so that it actually becomes automated and autonomous process instead of you going in there and interacting with different AI tools, which are usually just wrappers of Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini, right? It doesn't mean that you will never press any buttons or you'll never talk to chat, but the idea and the vision that I'm bringing with Bridgetal is that we want to automate your business so that it actually runs on autopilot, and you don't have to do as much, right? So that's a little bit about me. Scott, I know we don't have necessarily agenda. I know we discussed that you wanted me to share a few things that we've done for our clients, but
Yeah,
also I thought,
talk about a customer experience like an HVAC company that's getting a ton of phone calls and they can't get everyone to call back.
oh yeah, sales automation, sales systems are my favorite piece because those are usually insane amount of ROI when it comes to automating them. So there's and there's a lot. I would say the basics are making sure that you respond to your leads as fast as possible, and that's where AI and automation can shine the most. So let's say I know some of you might be visual people, so stick with me. I'm going to be explaining as much as possible, but I know some of you might want some visual, but stick with me. So, whenever lead comes in, whenever they knock on our doors, they try to call us. The biggest problem that one of the business can do is to ignore them, because as we know, home service businesses, construction businesses are very, very competitive. And if somebody's trying to reach out to you and they don't get in touch with you, they just move on to the next vendor, to the next contractor. I remember somebody once told me that all my if somebody doesn't respond on my call back in several hours, or if somebody ignores me after they called me, then they don't respect my work and I don't want to work with them, right? And it was quite funny to me because, well, you can't expect people to be patient when it comes to getting things done. And there is lots of ways to solve it, and I would say the simplest way for starters is not even AI. It's just getting a calendar link for your estimates on your website. With even this small step, we have seen our painting companies receive such a huge conversion already, just because people see a calendar and they like, hey, I don't have to call anybody, I don't have to text anybody. I can just go in, choose a time when I want an estimator come by, and that's it. I don't have to hustle with the phones or emails. Slightly more advanced stuff is when you have an AI receptionist. We like to call them AI office managers, because usually those are not just um, a receptionist. They lots of the times can do many more things. For example, somebody calls us, we respond to their phone call, we give them basic business information, but on top of this, we can also book an estimate for them in our calendar. We can see how far the location of a previous estimate and next estimate, so that we don't overcrowd the day, so that our sales can make sure that they're in time on both estimates. To the more advanced stuff where we can get into the CRM with this office manager, we can understand where the client at with their appointment. So let somebody calls us and they're like, hey, do I have an estimate with you, or for when do I have an estimate? We can get into CRM, we can see when do they have an estimate, and if they want to reschedule, we can also help them reschedule. So it goes much deeper than just AI receptionist. A few other very impactful things on the sales side of things. Those are more for bigger construction companies. So we've recently started working with a cement cutting business, and deals for them are enormous. So deals can start from 50 grand and get up to 500 grand or even more. And the big issue there is conversion rates. And conversion rates are low for multiple reasons. First of all, lots of the leads are they ghost them. The issue there was that they don't really ghost them, is that there's just not enough follow-ups. And that's one of the pieces where AI and automation can bring a lot of ROI, by just making sure that you automate personalized based on the history of your phone calls, based on the history of your Zoom calls, based on your emails, based on this SMS, personalized follow-ups, consistent follow-ups until the prime, or for them it was prime, says yeah, yes or no. And on top of it, whenever you automate bidding process with Dodge Construct or Construct Connect, and the prime, your lead sees that you reach out one of the first one and you're already ready to work, it increases the amount of trust they have onto you, right? And those things are just running on the background. You don't have to press too many buttons. Sometimes obviously for bigger projects, we let them have an approval process so that they make sure that they like the draft they're sending or the bids they're creating, this kind of stuff. So those are a few things on the sales processes. I usually recommend anybody who I start working with to start with sales and high ROI automations. We have done a lot of work on the back end of things with ops, but time and experience showed me that you want to make money first and foremost. You want to increase your conversion rates. You want to increase your close rates. You want to make sure you increase the amount of follow-ups you do and how fast you get back to a client, and stuff like even following SOPs for your sales calls. That could be assisted with AI pretty heavily, which in turn leads towards closing better and making more money. It's like, because at the end of the day, as we all know, it's all about making more money. And one of the things that people on the internet forget is that any tool, the primary purpose of any tool should be generating revenue or making sure you lose less money. So
yeah, great ad. Okay, I want to thank you very much, Nick. I totally agree. I like your strategy. You know, if you start with the money and you're making more money, then you have money to spend on operations and other things that need to be address. So I want to change gears. Obviously, if anyone has a AI tool they're using that we haven't heard from, please feel free to speak up. But I'd also like to open up to any questions someone has, like a burning question around AI that they may have. We certainly have some people on here that I bet would have the answer. So either one, if you have an AI tool that hadn't been discussed, please jump in, or an application that you've enjoyed, or some burning question. Please either speak up or put it in the chat. And we'll take a look at here.
One thing, if I may jump in real quick, Scott, I do get this question a lot. I don't see if anyone's asked it yet, but um, the ability the distance between your business and an actual custom software application to help run your business, whether it's sales and marketing, like Mick was referring to, or operations, or just unifying a bunch of different systems that don't talk to each other and getting a central dashboard. That distance right now has dramatically shrunk, and the capabilities that people like myself and Mick and others have to actually create those solutions for you. Even a year ago, if you walked into an average software development company, it was just like $100,000 just to say hello. And now we can actually create really, truly custom software it's tailored for your business in a fraction of the time and a fraction of the cost. And I build enterprise grade level platforms, but I have some interesting projects going for smaller clients. Some of them are in the trades. For example, a bidding system for an asphalt contractor and that sort of thing. And this stuff would just be completely unheard of a year, or frankly, even probably 6 months ago. So that's it.
I think that's a great ad, Lenny. One of the things I recognize as we're still relatively, we're in 8 countries and 33 states and have thousands of members, but we're still a relatively small company in many eyes. And the David and Goliath has shrunk. I mean, the ways that you can compete with AI now as a small player, it is dramatic. You're only limited by your imagination and your ability to prompt things. Lemire, go ahead.
A couple of things. First of all, I want to second what Lenny just said, and I want to point out that so many people just don't realize how cheap the infrastructure, the development become. Before, you might not even think about like your own phone app. Now you can do it. You can build it in a day or two. So the other thing we don't realize is that the business now could be run by AI. So you could actually literally employ AI for different. So if you didn't know that, Visa released a fractional CFO platform or a program that you can lease, and you can invite a fractional CFO into your business, do the CFO work. And this is the trend. So we are going to have automated businesses pretty soon. So you need to think about that. But the next level, so if you're talking about the AI for NIA, so Scott, in the beginning, you show us a couple of dozens of different programs, and you say, I teach this, and those are products that you have. So imagine this: for each of the program or product that you show, in addition to the video and the text and the images and whatever you have there could be an AI agent that teach the lessons from that book in the context of the user. So, for example, if I come to your page and I want to learn about how to do the testimonial, then the agent will ask me, Vlad, what kind of business do you do? Who is your customer, whatever? Who do you meet during meetings? And ask me questions, collecting my context, and then says, this is the testimonials, this is the opportunities for you, and those are testimonials you can do, and this is how you do this better. So think about this. Now, you as a business owner, you create rules. The agent collect context from your customer and create an asset. That's a new model. And whatever tools you use, you can use different. You can talk to Lenny about that, how to implement that, but it's not a matter of how. We need to change how we think about it today.
Yeah, I love that. Good answer.
So I created the platform called Praxis, and the Praxis creating agents based on books. You get a book like this. Well, this is my book, by the way. So you get a book like this, you give it to the Praxis, or you can just say, do you know this book? did you read it already? And it says, yes, I did read, and it actually read a lot of book. This is from Dr. Robert Cialdini, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. And I say, create 15 agents based on this book from the best lessons from this book. And it does it.
Yes.
That's
That's
it.
really awesome. That's really great.
So
Yeah.
I have over 300 agents in my platform now, and I think I will have over 10,000 because I don't need to create those agents. AI create the agents. AI post about it, and AI, invite people there.
Brilliant.
So this is
Brilliant.
This is commodity now. So
That's
this is free.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Kathy, jump in here.
Yes, hi. Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Kathy Smith. So first of all, I just will say I've been absolutely fascinated by the technology and how technical everything is. But I did want to say that, is there anybody else out there like me that is technically challenged, but also, well, that's so refreshing. But I have to say that I'm in direct sales. So for me, I do use ChatGPT, but I love it because I really think he's like my friend. And what I did was I got to know Chat. I got Chat to know me so that he knows I'm British. He knows I'm older than the gods. He knows everything about me. And I think that there is a place for ChatGPT for me. I love hearing all the incredible technology that you guys have. But when you're in direct sales, it's a slightly different animal. So I was going to ask Scott if there could be like a beginner's AI
Sure.
that we could talk about. But I just really wanted to introduce myself and say thank you so much for this. It's absolutely incredible that there's so many people who can do what you do.
Okay, Kathy, let's role play here real quick. So answer my questions and we'll get some feedback to you to give you exactly what you want. So I want you
Thank you so much.
in 15 to 30 seconds, tell me what you're selling, who your prospects are.
Okay, right. Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Smith. I'm partnered with New Skin Enterprises, and I market wellness technology powered by artificial intelligence.
And right now, how are you getting your customers?
I am doing a lot of face-to-face, one-to-ones, because most people they're a little bit wobbly talking about health and wellness. They like that personal connection. So what I'm doing now, thanks to you guys and thanks to the lovely Lisa, I'm building connections. But that's that's how I built my business, is personal connections, getting their trust, and clearly they can see that I am as healthy as I could be for 71, and hopefully that is going to make them think, okay, when she says what she says, it's they trust me.
Awesome. And do you have an avatar or a profile of your prospect that you would turn into a customer?
I do.
Okay. And talk a little bit about that person.
Okay. So I'm looking, actually, my avatar is someone who is very, very into their health. They are maybe a fitness trainer, or they may be actually somebody who works out 3 to 4 times a week, and they want to keep that optimum health and have longevity, with a healthy longevity, as opposed to, just living a long life, but maybe ending up in an assisted living. So that is my avatar. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I think we have enough data. How about anybody jumping in? And I have a few ideas, but anybody want to jump in and help Kathy? Go ahead.
Kathy, is your business heavily referral driven besides, direct selling and meeting people?
Is it heavily what? Sorry?
Referral driven.
Yes.
How do you have any system to track on how many referrals you got from which champions or any of those sort of things?
That's a great question. I don't have a system, but I have my Excel spreadsheet, which is like a very old-fashioned tracking system.
No, that's good. That's something. That's good.
Thank you.
And you know people who bring you most amount of referrals and who send people your way, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How often do you work on those previous relationships and follow up with them and reach out to them, talk to them, just making sure you remember about their birthday? Or do you have enough time to do this stuff, or is it not that simple?
That's a great question. I have what I call follow-up Friday. And what I do is I go through a certain number each Friday and then just sort of like put them in another part of my Excel spreadsheet. But I hear what you're saying, that maybe I could get that automated. Is that what you're saying?
Well, partially, yeah. And yeah, I know you mentioned that you want some entry level type of automation and AI into your business. So I would say based on what I hear, I mean, the fact that you have Excel is actually not bad, because if it solves specific pain points you have, and if it gets things done, for this stage, perhaps it's fine. Some easy way you could slightly streamline, automate, or make the process more efficient is even by going to the Cloud Cowork. Or do you use ChatGPT or Cloud Cowork or something like anything like that?
Sorry, what did you, what was the
Do you
question
use
again?
ChatGPT? What chatbot do you
Yeah,
use?
ChatGPT, like your bog standard lowest level.
Have you played with connectors that they have in
No,
ChatGPT?
no, what I've done is I've literally just made this is my guy. He
Okay.
does my research for me. He sort of he knows everything about me. So what I don't want to do is to lose that connection.
Mhm.
But I'm always open, which is why I'm on this call. And so yeah, just open to any suggestions.
So I think there's a
So
combination, Kathy, where you could build lists using chat of every gym in the 10 zip code area around
Right.
you.
And in
You
fact, my
can,
referrals are coming from gym owners, to other gym owners. So yeah,
you can build emails, inside of, if you've inexpensive, Go High Level or Thrive both have AI tools where you can communicate with these people regularly. I think what I mentioned earlier about writing articles like on Pressmaster or just by yourself,
yes,
becoming published is important because you're trying to teach people something that they might migrate towards Western medicine first, because of the American culture. So
yeah,
there's a lot of ways you can do it. The sky's the limit. But the
yeah,
first thing I suggest is maybe have a one-to-one with Mick. Y'all aren't that far apart since you are both in Houston.
sure.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
to kind of, sorry, to close on my point. So something real quick. You could utilize connectors in ChatGPT. You could connect it to the spreadsheet that you're using for your managing relationships, and you could pretty much create, your own little CRM where instead of you figuring out going through the spreadsheet, you can just query it and ask it like, when was the last time I talked to this person, or who I should leverage, who's the relationship I should leverage. I'm sorry, gosh, leverage this week, and it would look
Right.
through a spreadsheet and give you the answer. So, like, this is
That's
kind
a
of like
brilliant
this is
idea. Brilliant
Yeah.
idea. Thank you so much, Nick.
Awesome. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely got a good one here. So I talked about Claude Cowork at the beginning there, Kathy, because I'm setting this up on my wife's computer, setting up my mom's computer. I'm just out there setting Claude Coworks up on everybody's computer. That I love because I know that we all want the same thing. We want more time and we want to do less mundane tasks. We want to do our business and not the medial tasks that we spend a lot of time, the 70% of our time dealing with medial tasks. Claude Cowork is amazing. I'm going to continue to harp on it because it allows you to talk just like you talk to your chat GPTs, right? Except what Mick was talking about connectors. Basically, it's just like you're connecting one little thing to another little thing. So right now your chat GPT, what it does is it works inside itself, right? And so most of the people here, their chats are just working within its own little chat, right? And all the information, that super valuable nuggets, you still have to go and act on them, right? Most people are
Right,
operating still in that way.
right,
Claude Cowork completely changed that. And the reason that people are talking about it, just so you know, is because the United States government has trusted it for its operations in the Department of Defense. So it's not because it's just a hype mode. It's because literally the most powerful United, force in the world has used and is using it and is still reliant on it for their DoD operations. So put that into
Wow.
perspective. We now have a technology as regular people that is just as capable as our government has. And actually, now don't
oh
get me wrong,
God,
they're on their frontier level. They have frontier level access, and they have like really a lot of limits that we don't have in their AIs. But right now, you have that same capability as the United States government, and it's not like you have to be a genius. So I at the beginning, I talked about how I set up and I've replaced a couple of employees in my business. I love technology and I'm a nerd without a doubt. I'm just a nerd, right? But I am not a
Awesome.
coder. I'm actually just a graphic designer. I have zero coding background. It wasn't until this year that I felt confident enough to start jumping into agents, because before then you had to understand things like N8N or Make or how to use Zapier or all these different things. But now a regular person with just a little bit of knowledge, not a lot, right, can go ahead and set up their own business brain through Claude Cowork, right? You can, and just on a Google Share Drive, it's nothing fancy. So if you've ever used a share drive, which most people have at least access to share drive, right? Your brain of your business can live on a hopefully secure share drive that you own, right? And you can tell it, you can, just like you've been talking to your AI right now, it's been wonderful. But I'm sure the second you go over to a new tab or you start a new project, you're still fighting to like, oh man, it just forgot all this stuff. I have to give you more information again because I need to retell you everything, right?
Yeah.
Past that,
No.
we're past that, right?
Oh, wow.
And now we're at a place where you can actually continue get provided continual memory. You can build that up. And again, you do not have to be a coder. You speak to it like you speak to your chat GPT now, right? Except it can
Okay.
do
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. That's awesome.
for your business. So
Lemire, put a bow on this for us. We got 2 minutes left. Go ahead. You have your hand up there.
Uh, is it my time, Scott?
Oh, no, yeah. Do you have your hand up there?
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
want to say something to Kathy. So, Kathy, it seems like you're not very technical. So you can, yeah, you can educate yourself about all of these infrastructure things like Cloud Cowork, ChatGPT, connectors, whatever, but you don't really have to do that because you need to focus on building trust. You need to focus on building reach to people, and you need to focus on building value. So what you really need, you need to have one digital employee who you will talk to in English, in plain English, and say, every morning, I need to have 3 ideas of how do I bring value to all gym owners. And every morning you will get an email with the research, well crafted, and how you can reach and what you can do. Then you could say, reach out to this,
Can
how
you
many
just
you want.
repeat that prompt? What the,
How can I bring 3 ways I
No.
can bring value to a
Every-
gym owner?
Every morning, send me 3 ideas, researching the internet, and give me 3 ideas. How can I bring value to all the gym owners? And then you need to say every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, send emails from this Excel that I'm attaching to those people, and each day to 20 different people with this message, or you can say what message is. And the other thing is, how do you build trust? So you build trust through connection. So you really need to think about different ways to build connection, and you can chat with AI, or you can ask AI to organize it for you, and you can say, please reach out and offer people a one-on-one conversation about one or another topic. So
Perfect.
you really need to move from thinking about infrastructure to thinking about how do I solve my business problem? Because infrastructure is for people like Mick and Larry and Daniela and myself, right? You need to really think about your business, not the infrastructure.
Thank you. Thank you, Vladimir.
Kathy, thank you so much for that. I hope you all have found this to be valuable. We will reconvene next month on the first Monday and hopefully continue to talk AI and give you a little better handle on it. You know, really, you're only limited by your imagination and your ability to prompt. That's what I always have learned so to date. You know, it's just really incredible. I remember around 1995 when the internet exploded, and I thought this is the greatest thing in my lifetime. There's never going to be anything like this. And now today you recognize that AI makes the internet look like a fax machine. So it's important, and I really applaud all of you for taking the time to try to stay on top of it. Hopefully we'll see you next month. Thank y'all very much. Remember to reach out and see who can help, and it will come back to you tenfold. Thank y'all so much. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Scott.